Hi, this is Devansh. I'm connecting with you guys after a long time. I came across a service, Amazon Code Whisperer, and I was contemplating doing due diligence if that can be implemented within my org at the developer level, if that can increase the overall productivity of my team. And while doing that, I came across a service called Amazon Q, and I realized that there will be no Code Whisperer. Code Whisperer will be Amazon Q developer. And so I thought to record a video for this particular service. Well, I just logged in. Well, this is Amazon Q. My system is slightly slow, I think. Okay, let me change to Oregon because Amazon Q, I think, is still in preview and available only in few regions. So from Frankfurt, I'll change to Oregon. Okay, so I'm on this page. Amazon Q is kind of service that can sit over multiple other services of AWS. Let's assume that if you're using AWS QuickSight for dashboarding purpose, um, what if you want to implement AWS Q on top of it? So any user, they will not need to go through the QuickSight dashboard. They can actually query the data of Amazon QuickSight directly from Amazon Q. Let's check this out. So assume that you're right on this page, subscribe for this. I'm recording after, I think, maybe 2, 3, maybe after 2 years. Okay, so it will bring you up to this page. I had actually created one application, it worked fine. So I thought to create one for you guys. Now let's click on creating an application. Let's name this application. I'll name this as house prices. Not encrypting it. Tag is like if you want to tag it within your cost center, maybe you belong to sales cost center, you can tag it to sales so that all the uh, cost, you can tag it and you can check at the end of the end of the cycle how much you are consuming. It's creating. Okay, use native retriever. Number of units, I'm going to use one. You can use many. 1 to 50 unit. Each unit 20,000 documents are allowed. Again, tags, same option. Connect to the data source. Now you see Amazon Q, it allows around 15 to 20 data sources. Most of them are right here, the one that you require. SharePoint, if you are kind of working with the Excel files and that is getting uploaded on SharePoint on regular basis, fortnightly, monthly, Salesforce, OneDrive, or you can connect to PostgreSQL, Microsoft Team, SQL Server is there, MySQL is there, Google Drive is there, Dropbox. And if you're using Amazon RDS service, but the most of the time that you'll be using is Amazon S3 or you'll upload the file directly. Let us use S3. Okay. What do we name it? Let's name it S3. S3 AWS Q1. AWS Q. Okay. You can write description, any description you want. If you have a VPC, you can attach your VPC, which will make your whole application more safe. But I'm not going to do that. No VPC is anyways test. IAM role, it will create one. Let's click on it, create a new role. Or if you already have an IAM role, then you can attach it to here. But then you have to configure that IAM role to the application. So you have to create a user, attach the user, give a role to that user, and then give access to the application, right? It automatically created a role name, S3 bucket. I've not created a bucket till now, right? So we need to create a bucket. Tag, same option. Add a data source. Frequency, when do I want to refresh it? I want to refresh it only when I want, so that I reduce on compute. But let's say if your file is coming on a regular basis, if it is coming hourly, weekly, monthly, you select that particular option so that, or you can make it custom, maybe first day of every month, right? Something like that, so that you're not running your compute every when it is not needed, right? So I will make it run on demand. Browse S3 location. Now you see, either I can select this bucket, right? But I don't want to select this bucket. I want to create a new bucket. Now, let us cancel it and let us create a bucket. I right click, I open a new tab. It will take me to the S3 console. And I come here, I will create a bucket. I already have this one bucket that we have seen over here when I clicked on browse. So let me not browse it. Let me click on create bucket. General purpose or directory, of course, bucket name, I think I copied AWS, AWS Q, right? And if you want to copy the setting of an existing bucket, this is what you have to click. Access control, right now it is disabled because I have not created an access control list. Access control list is kind of, you can create a list of all the users that you want to assign for the access. Block all public access. No, I don't want to block. Basically, by default, it will be block. Right now, I'm just into training, so I've unchecked it so that if you need later to access this file, you can do that. Then I will have to check this. Bucket versioning, do I want to version the bucket? No, I don't want that. Tag, same concept. Default encryption and bucket key, I disable it, right? Key management service. Key management service, only the people who will have the key, right? They will only have the access to the bucket. I click on create bucket. Okay, bucket name must not contain an uppercase. So now create bucket. Remember, bucket name is unique. Okay, now bucket is created, but do I have anything inside of bucket? Let's create this. Let's click on that. I don't have any file in my bucket, right? So let's upload a file, and you have multiple options. You can actually you can actually upload the entire folder. I'm not going to do that. I will just add one file. I'm actually running the system after, I think, a year maybe. Okay. So house prices, I select this file, I click on open. If I had to add folder, I had to click this and I would have attached the entire folder. Let us say you have a folder by name data, just like the way I have. I can attach the whole folder. But then when I'm running this application, if my application does not need all the files, it will unnecessarily eat up my compute, right? I can attach the whole folder. So this is the path. Now click on upload. Great. Click on the bucket. Sorry, that's now let's go to the bucket. Okay, now this is my bucket which I have already created. If I want to delete it, I click here and I click on delete. Okay, now let's win this bucket. Let's select it. Now the time you select it, select the file, all these options will become enabled, right? This is if you want to create a like have a URL for the data, you copy it and you can share it with people. Download the data, open delete action. Now share with a pre-signed URL. Query with S3 select and couple of more options. I want to create an access point. Okay. Now, when you're here on the access point, you just create an access point. An access point name. What is the name of the bucket? I just copied this and I type access point. Okay. Network logging, virtual VPC. I go for internet. I make it available for the public access. And I click on create access point. Done. Now you'll see a few more options like management, create a lifecycle rule. I wanted to show you for intelligent tiering. Give me one moment. Create lifecycle rule. Intelligent tiering for AWS Q. Or maybe just let it be intelligent tiering for S3. Okay. Move current version of object between storage classes. And within 30 days. Do what? Do the intelligent tiering. This one. So if I'm not using it, it will archive it. More maybe it will go for Glacier instant, Glacier deep archive. This is where we will spend lesser money, lesser cost on storage. But you have to remember, if this file you're going to use it very frequently, this application you're going to use very frequently, which will access this data, you cannot do that. That is why I make it intelligent tiering. After 30 days, it will archive. Now I'll create a rule. You must specify a tag. Let it be this. Creating a rule. Great. Done. If I want to delete it, select this and delete it. Done. Now let us go back and click on browse. Now it should show two buckets for me. This is the one that we just created with the required file. I choose this and I come down, I click on add data source. Okay, I think this one more step. One amazing thing which I like about Amazon is, just like any other web-based system, you can click on multiple windows. Great. So my data source is ready and I click on next. I can attach multiple data sources also. I can attach an S3, I can attach a S3 also. I can upload a file directly also. Now I'm going to assign a user, right? Who all user will actually have access to this. This is the most difficult part. Not from the execution point of view, but you'll get to know. Add a new user or existing one. Click on existing one, click on next. Now I am a user, but sometimes it just doesn't show. Okay, it showed up here. Sometimes I have to kind of do it multiple times, then only it reflects. So I have this. If you have multiple users, it will show over here. I click on assign. I can also create a group. Let's say a group for house pricing or people who work in, let's say, retail business, right? Or pricing division. So I create a group pricing and I will attach multiple user within that group. Let's say 10 users. So whenever I have to give if I need to give access to all the users, I need not to add 10 users. I can attach the entire group and everyone within that group will actually get the this is slide access to that application. Create a new role, click on create application. Zero group, one user has been assigned. It's creating the application. Give it a moment. It usually takes a minute and a half, though it says 30 seconds. It also depends upon how heavy your configuration is. Okay, it created. So we've created one application, AWS Q by name house prices. It's created successfully. The retriever is native retriever. This date, it's deployed successfully, and this is the web version, web experience. Now, if you want to see the application, you can either click or right click and open a new tab, which will bring you right here. So we are in Amazon Q business application loading, and in the meantime, I can actually click on web experience. Let's see what's happening here. Now, I could have gone from that route and I click here, customize web experience, and it will take me to the same place. But the reason why I got here is because right now you are within the configuration of your application, and you see if you want to edit it, edit, delete, and data source, you have only one data source. Let's say you upload more files within S3, you can pick this, you can add more data source, and then you can click on sync now, because you remember we have enabled that it should sync only when we want it, not on periodic basis. We have how many users we have selected? We have selected only one user, and go on. Now let us say, okay, username. My username is, I've created this user. Next, password. It will ask me my MFA. It depends whether you have, give me a moment. It depends upon whether you have enabled MFA or not. If you have not, it will not ask you, but I've seen that it indirectly kind of pushes you to enable MFA. I think because of security reasons. Okay, great. So we are here now. This application is live. Great. Customize web experience. what do we call it? We call it, you see our application looks like this right now. Great, Amazon Q business, but let's name it house prices. Show you is the house price application subtitle. Let's make it subtitle house price application assistant. Welcome message. I am your house price application assistant. Okay. And display sample. So you'll have these sample questions, but I don't want to do that. I click on save. So I can edit over here. Now, by the time it is editing, I can relaunch the application, but I think I need not to do that. What I can do is I can refresh if that works. Let's see. Great. Now, house price, you remember earlier it was showing a AWS Q something. Now it says house price application. Now we have updated the data of house price, right? Get me summary of the data. So let us say I want to see my data. So it says, well, too much. The data source provided contains information about various properties, square foot, prices, and various other attributes, right? This is good. Let's see the data. House prices. Well, this is the data. We have home, price, square feet, bedroom, bathroom kind of. So it's summarized. It's summarized pretty okay, provided we have very less data. Let me get me the summary of this data. So when I say get me summary of this data, it is pretty much giving the similar kind of answer that it gave me earlier. The data is presented into format. Okay, let it finish. Okay, well, not the same answer, different answers, but it's almost the same way it's written. Price. Well, this is how you can use it. If and I'll just give you a demo. You can use any kind of file that you have. I give it a command. Can you get me average of the price? And it is giving me average of the price. The average price of the property is the data in the data sources. This average bedrooms. Let me copy average bedrooms. I can't open that. Not sure why. Okay, well, you got the idea. Because the data set that you have, the better it will be. And this whole service is currently under review site. Maybe they are testing it, public preview. Well, thank you so much. It was nice connecting. Bye-bye.